Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/surviving infidelity, where OP's wife cheated on him while he was at the hospital for a literal broken heart. Let's begin. Am I wrong for calling out my ex for trying to baby trap me last week? Posted by Reddit user Confident Artist.
My ex and I have been together for 4 years. We had so much history, love, and memories. But everything changed once I realized that she had been deceptive. In the beginning, we both agreed that we do not want children. I was planning on getting a vasectomy on my 30th birthday. I am 29 now and only 5 months away from when I planned on doing it. My ex had an implant that lasted the first year of our relationship, but she stopped because it gave her horrible side effects and she gained 30 pounds, but I still found her beautiful. So we used condoms.
Good Lord, how is he so fat?
Too much information warning. Sometimes, we will just do hand stuff and I will finish on her stomach area. The last 2 times, I saw her doing something that at first made me confused. When I went to get a towel for her afterwards, I came back into the room and saw her touch herself down there. I didn't think much of it, until the next time. I came in the bedroom and saw that she took some of my secret sauce and put it inside her with her fingers. I immediately asked her what the fuck she was doing and she said, "Nothing, I'm just making sure nothing leaks in me." But I saw that it had all been messed up on her stomach and not how it was left, and there was a significant amount less. So the next day, I broke it off with her to take some time to think about what my next step should be. I don't track her cycle like a creep, but I know when she had her period last. So I went online to get a rough estimate of where she was in her cycle, as it was about 2 weeks after her period. It was the day after predicted ovulation. I haven't been able to sleep. I don't know how high the chances are if she's been doing this. I heard sperm dies rapidly after touching the air. Does anybody know the chances or odds? What should I do?
Well, first of all, OP, you should never have any form of relation with her ever again, especially in a sexual manner. Then you should pray to God that none of her attempts actually took hold. She is not the type of person you want in your life for the next 18 years. Look, man, you two were engaging in mutual masturbation, not even actual intercourse, and she was trying to impregnate herself without your consent. She is a vile human being and not worthy of further consideration. You did the right thing by dumping her. And now for today's second story. My wife cheated on me again while my heart was literally broken. Posted by Reddit user Wired and Tired.
Quick backstory. We've been married 12 years, together for 15. We have 2 young daughters. The initial D-Day was 4 years ago. Long story short, I found a month's worth of messages on a Discord app between my wife and another guy. Then came the typical trickle truth bullshit. It started out as just some random person who doesn't mean anything. Eventually, I found out they had been FaceTiming numerous times throughout the week, and in addition to sexual stuff, they were talking about very personal topics like my daughters, while also shit-talking me and his wife. The only reason I suspected they didn't do anything physical was because he lived about 1,000 miles away. But I could be wrong. D-Day was the worst day of my life. My wife was my best friend and the only person I trusted in the world. After I found out, I was completely broken. Months of panic attacks and deep depression. But I didn't want to tell anyone because I couldn't ruin my wife's reputation.
That's stupid! You're stupid! Stop being stupid!
To my wife's credit, she did feel guilty when I caught her, or so it seemed. She called her parents and confessed everything. Then, she set up individual and couples counseling appointments. She took care of me and gave me space to grieve. We went to couples counseling and individual counseling for a year. She was completely open with her phone and cut off all communications with the other guy. After a couple years of intense work, I believed we could make it as a couple. I really wanted to make it work for our daughters, and I felt like she had done the work to earn my trust again. I even stopped checking her phone about a year ago. Then, about 2 weeks ago, she slipped up. She accidentally sent a text to a group chat that I was in that was definitely not meant for the group. She quickly tried to cover it up as a joke, but I immediately knew what was going on. All of that trauma came rushing back: panic attacks, crippling anxiety, overwhelming depression, etc. When I confronted her, she immediately denied it. What she didn't know was that you can recover recently deleted texts on iPhones, which I did while she was sleeping. I documented everything and stored it securely. I waited a few days to get over my initial shock and then contacted a divorce attorney. I then revealed my evidence and her reaction was completely different from the first D-Day. She mumbled sorry and then escaped into the bedroom. I eventually pieced together that she was messaging the same guy from 4 years earlier. Oh, and this was all happening while I was literally in heart failure and scared for my life. I'm only 36 and the doctors still have no idea what attacked my heart, but I'm okay now and have a surgically implanted defibrillator. Her response when I asked how she could cheat again while I'm afraid for my life, she said I didn't message him during your surgery. Gee, thanks. We are now moving forward with divorce. As a child of divorce, I swore before I got married that I would never divorce. Yet, here I am. And I know it's the correct decision, as hard as it is. Ultimately, it's what's best for our girls and myself. I'm terrified, anxiety-ridden, and so sad to lose my best friend. And I'm so scared of being alone. So my focus is fully on my daughters and trying to heal. I've lurked in this subreddit for years under a different account and it's been a huge help. There's a lot of wisdom and truly supportive folks here. Unfortunately, I truly believed I could be one of the ultra-rare betrayed spouses who was able to fully reconcile with their wayward spouse. I was wrong. Time to move forward. Best wishes to everyone else here.
OP, I just wanted to confirm, are you still doing individual therapy? Because if not, then you should definitely get back to it. Also, tell your friends and family about the divorce and the cheating. You will need all the support you can get. And let your good old creepy Uncle PattSun tell you a little story. When I was a younger lad, I suffered through a heartbreak as well. What really helped me back then was exercising. Not exactly going to the gym, but I was riding my bike for about an hour every single day, 365 days a year, rain or shine. It really helped me move on. Maybe it will help you too. Good luck, man. And now for today's final story. I kicked my step-granddaughter out of my house. Posted by Reddit user Agile Quantity.
For context, stepchild was evaluated and examined by a psychologist and physician the police department chose. The child showed no sign of abuse. The psychologist said stepchild is a danger to others and needs extensive help. She advised us to keep her away from our family. We tried to include her in our family, but she's made it damn near impossible. Update: I'm sorry I've not been able to respond to comments. My daughter called me Monday, in tears, and said a school counselor had notified them that a CPS worker was being sent out. My daughter asked why and apparently my step-granddaughter has told more serious lies. Step-granddaughter hasn't been in school since before Halloween. She's been with her bio mom the entire time but told the school my daughter is keeping her home and making her do laundry, clean and cook every day. Step-granddaughter also told the school that my son-in-law and daughter won't buy her clothes, that she's wearing rags and all the attention goes on my daughter's son. I told my daughter I was going to consult an attorney because this has gone on way too long. I also contacted the counselor and boy, did this woman have a chip on her shoulder. I told her I could prove that the child has been with her mom. I could provide camera footage of her mom dropping her off in front of my home. The counselor said that this situation is serious due to what my son did, and I asked if she was aware my son was found to be innocent. I told her to call the local police and they'll tell you the same thing I told her. This child isn't being abused. She's angry she can't take control. I told her when and if CPS comes, we will be ready with an attorney, and when all of this is proven to be false, I'll be filing lawsuits, her included. She didn't like that and eventually handed me over to her boss, who was much more reasonable. The principal said he wasn't aware counselor had contacted CPS, and he said their protocol is to contact parents first, which she didn't do. I told him my son was innocent and he said he was aware, as the police had pulled her out of class for questioning during all of that, and the principal was present when Step was asked to identify my son via photos and couldn't pick out his burn scars. I told the principal I can prove she's lying. I told him maybe the counselor needs to be versed on what kind of child she's dealing with. I also told the principal that step-granddaughter has ruined all of my daughter's clothing, either cutting them up or just throwing them away, and tried to do the same thing with my grandson's stuff. I also told him about the laptop incident. Apparently, she'd been taking the computer to school before my son-in-law found out and stopped her. She isn't allowed a school-issued computer because she looks up filthy and vile things. The principal said if I can bring or send him the video that shows her mom dropping her off at my home, then he may look into a 72-hour psych hold for the child. Apparently she bullies other kids, steals or outright takes things she wants from them, forces them to give her their food. She was suspended last year cornering a younger student in the bathroom and taking her pocketbook because the child had some type of big-name purse and step-granddaughter wanted it. The girl's mom filed a theft report and step-granddaughter was forced to return it. She's also stolen makeup and cell phones from other students. This is ridiculous. It seems like this girl is determined to ruin my grandson's life and I'm not going to let it happen. She's made comments in the past that she can get CPS to take my grandson's sway to strangers, upsetting him very badly. I'm going to look into what I can do to limit her contact with my family. As for my son-in-law, I told him I don't care what you do, but leave my daughter and her child out of it. I told him I'd better not find out she's been back in my daughter's home. The home was given to my daughters by my mother or I'd call the police on her. So I, 57 male, have a daughter who is 30, well almost 31. In 2019 my daughter married her now husband who is a bit older than her but not much, he's 39. I begged her not to marry him, not because I don't like him, but because of his terror of a child. My daughter has a son with my son-in-law and my son-in-law has a 13-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. The 13-year-old has made it damn near impossible for my daughter to enjoy her baby. This child is incredibly dangerous in my opinion, and before the major event that caused me to cut contact with her, it was always something she had going. Last year, the 13-year-old stepchild told the school that my son, 22, had assaulted her and it started a shitstorm of police interviews and other things. It came out pretty quickly she was lying because my son has a large burn scar that takes up the lower half of his body and the stepchild couldn't identify it via photos. My son also volunteered for and passed a polygraph test. The psychologist who interviewed both my son and the stepchild deduced rather quickly that the stepchild was lying. When confronted, stepchild admitted she was lying because she was angry my daughter wouldn't get her a laptop. We had a situation the Christmas before where I bought my daughter a gaming laptop and my step-granddaughter wanted it, but her tantrum didn't work so she decided to try and steal it. It didn't work. I invited my daughter and grandson to Thanksgiving and told my son-in-law he was more than welcome to come, but his child was not. He said he understood. So, my daughter, my grandson and my son-in-law show up Thanksgiving Day. Everything was going well until we heard the front door open and in walked stepchild. Apparently, her mother had gotten wind we were gathered at my house and decided stepchild should be included. I met stepchild in the foyer and told her she wasn't welcome in my home and needed to leave. She got smug, saying well my mom's already left so, and tried to push past me. I held my arms out and stopped her, telling her to get out now. I forced her back outside and told her she could wait by the mailbox while she called her mom to come get her. This child has never heard no more than a few times. I told my son-in-law he could do what he wanted as long as it didn't involve bringing her in my home. He went outside and came back in to tell us apparently her mom thought we weren't allowed to gather unless it included stepchild. Her mom ended up coming back to get her only when I called the police. I had her and her mother trespass. Her mom pitched a fit but the officers fully understood once I provided proof this brat had lied on my son. Now everyone on my son-in-law's side is saying I'm the asshole for being mean to a child, but frankly I'd prefer never to see her again.
You are 1000% not the asshole here, OP. If she can make false accusations about your son, then she is capable of making false accusations about you or anyone else in your family. She is not safe to have around. It is unfortunate, but it's obvious this kid has either some sort of mental illness or she is lashing out due to the divorce. Either way, she needs lots of therapy. By the way, the biological mother just dropping off this girl at your house without your consent is where I assume the step-granddaughter gets her attitude from. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my channels for you to watch absolutely free. So please consider subscribing to me on Rumble and on YouTube. Both will be linked in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, consider subscribing to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.